welcome to YSLAAH-20Q. My name is Induwari Jinadasa, and I'm the current president of the Youth Sri Lankan American Association of Houston. Today, I'm here with Thara, Tennakoon, and Mr. Rumi, who is a partner at a large firm that provides clients with audit, assurance, consulting, and tax services. We'd like to thank him for his time and opportunity to get some insight into his profession. Now let's get started. What inspired you to pursue a career in the risk and assurance services?
I'm going to be honest, right? I didn't think this was the profession I'll go into. My undergrad was finance. Once my finance degree was complete and I graduated, I didn't feel I had anything to offer in terms of value to an employer. So I went straight into grad school. I did information systems in the business school for 2 years, and I got an offer at a very large firm. It was a great company. I liked the people, I liked their pitch, so I took it. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I had a general idea. It ended up being this, but I did a lot of things during my time there because we do a lot of services, but I was able to grow in this one space and excel, and that became my profession.
How could you share your educational background and how it prepared you for your current role?
The educational background really prepares you to, because in the business field, it's very different to something like engineering or being a doctor. You don't need, I'm not doing brain surgery, right? I'm not building a circuit, right? It really prepares you to think on your feet.
Right.
It gives you a general knowledge of how things operate in the world, in the finance field, and in companies, but it really helps you to think and solve problems, right? And that's the skill it gave me. Everything else I learned on the job. We call it on-the-job training, which is the most important thing, right? So that's the difference in business school, right? Compared to a very technical degree, it's the ability to think and solve problems and also work in large teams. So it prepared me for that.
How did your career progress from entry-level positions to your current level of experience and responsibility?
It's been a fantastic journey. I've been doing my job at the same company for 24 years now. Since graduating, same company, same job. I don't know any better or any worse, but I loved it. People often ask me why I stayed in one job for 24 years. I had no reason to leave. I enjoy the people I work with. I enjoy the work I do, the clients I work with. The pay was good too, right? So there was no reason to leave, right? The progression really is very structured in these large professional consulting firms. You start as an analyst, you become a consultant after about 2 years. If you do well, you become a senior consultant about 3 years. Then you make manager for about 3 to 4 years. I was a manager for 3 years. And then you make senior manager. That's kind of the hardest level because beyond that is leadership, right? I was a senior manager for 5 years. So total, I was with my firm for 15 years before I finally made partner, right? So now it's 24 years with the firm now, right? That's the progression. Now, if you don't do well, it's not automatic, right? Every level, you got to meet the expectations and show that you're ready for that next level, right? And it's not for everybody, right? If you can do that, you will get the next level. And the difference in consulting firms like ours compared to a company is that there is always room at the next level. Like in a company, if there is a structure of an organization, unless that person in that level, the manager leaves, you can't be a manager as well. There's only one manager spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas in the consulting firm, we serve clients. Right? It's a level basically relates to your competency. So you can have, there's always room at the top if you are able to deliver. So you can get promoted and move up, which is not the case in companies. Right? Make sense?
Yeah. What key decisions or turning points significantly shaped your career trajectory?
I think having mentors and allies, right? People who invested in my career, which I think is fantastic. Me being from Sri Lanka, being brown, being in Houston, Texas, I actually had people who invested in me, who saw my potential and gave me the opportunities. Right? We are a big firm with lots of clients, lots of projects. And it's not easy to get those high visibility projects and opportunities. I was given those because I demonstrated my capability. They trusted in me and they took a leap of faith on me and gave me those opportunities. If I didn't have the same allies and mentors who gave me the opportunities, I would be stuck in a rut, right? I think those are the key items. not key decisions as such, right? That's what influenced my career. Decisions-wise, I just worked hard. It was very consistent. I still do the same thing I did. Every project I deliver. I work hard and I deliver on those, right? Keep the momentum going on that, but really getting the opportunities, you need someone else above you, an ally, to pound the table for you to get that next gig.
What advice would you offer to a high school or college student who aspires to work in the consulting industry?
You have to be well-rounded, right? You can't be a one-trick pony. You got to know the business world, read the news, know what's going on in the world, know what's going on in politics, know what's going on in sports, because a lot of our work is interacting with clients and people. What we really want is people who are smart and intelligent, and that doesn't mean you can solve a calculus equation, right? It means you should be able to think on your feet, smart about different things, not just one area. Have a conversation with the client, with a team with different interests. Maybe it's music, maybe it's movies, maybe it's sports, right? Just knowing that you have a wide range of knowledge and skills, that's very important, right? And then beyond that, curiosity and willingness to take on a challenge. Like I said earlier, our field is very different. It's not like a doctor or engineer who has a very special skill. Ours really is, every project is different. A client has a problem, you have to go solve it for them, right? And you'll have people who work with you, but you have to be able to think differently for every project, right? So my advice is, if you want to go into the consulting business field, be rounded, be curious, right? Improve your overall knowledge base, but get a general understand of the business world and technology. Technology is so key to everything that we do.
I'll hand it over to Thara.
Could you describe what a typical workday looks like in your role?
So my typical workday today, or it's very different now what it was long time ago. I'll talk about today or as a new college hire.
You can give us a little bit in both.
Both, okay. Someone who starts out of college fresh, they will be assigned a coach and a client in a project. And they will work very closely with that team with assigned tasks, right? To talk to the clients, a lot of documentation of what you did. A lot of things we do have to be put on a slide, a spreadsheet or something like that, right? But really working in a team with a senior who will guide you through it. Where we work is very different. We have a very hybrid atmosphere. Generally speaking, our campus hires would work about 2 days from home, 2 to 3 days from home. And the other days, based on the project, either at the client's office or in our office, right? And that can vary, right? And you go in, usual day, and you sit with your senior and you have a list of tasks I've assigned to you, and you check in with your senior as you're going through. If you have problems, you ask them. No, because the way we are designed, we want everyone to be successful. It's not a world where you're trying to compete and get better than the next one, because like I said earlier, there's always room at the top, right? So if everybody's successful, the whole team is successful, right? If one person falls behind, the whole project is in jeopardy, right? So when you go and you have a good collaborative environment where you can work with others and you can be successful, right? So your day-to-day, you go into work, you know what your tasks are, you work on that. Sometimes you may have more than 2 projects at the same time, 3 days on one client, 2 days on one, or morning, afternoon, based on the needs and demands.
What types of projects do you most frequently manage or oversee?
So we are very industry focused. So my specialty is the power and utilities industry, right? So I work with large energy companies, mostly Fortune 500 companies that generate power, deliver power, manage power. Right? That's my specialty, right? And some smaller ones in other industries, so primarily that is what I manage. And my area is, like I said earlier, was risk assurance, right? So let me go into that a little bit, what that means, right? So all my clients are public companies. And so public companies, that means they are publicly traded, meaning they have stock in the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, right? So the public company, they have to file financials with the SEC, right, which is a regulator, right? And those financials have to be audited by an auditor and sign off saying the financials are correct, materially correct. We do that. Our firm does that. So many firms do that. I don't do that. I'm not an accountant, right? What I do is help companies, either we audit or otherwise, make sure the systems and processes that run their business are properly controlled and the risks are addressed, which makes the financials they report reasonably correct. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they buy stuff, they sell stuff, they build stuff. They all go through systems and processes. Somebody is buying the raw materials, somebody is building together, they are invoicing them, collecting cash, all that stuff, right? If those processes are broken, or if there's a risk that they can be compromised, your financial statements will be wrong. So I make sure their processes and systems are good so that the financials that they put in are reasonably accurate. And if they have problems with those, I help them fix it. And I would test them to make sure they're working correctly as well.
What aspects of your work do you find most rewarding?
I would say this morning when I was able to give job offers to college kids, internship offers. It's the best part of my job because they are so thrilled, they've achieved so much, they've done so well, and they impressed us. Giving them an offer is the favorite part of my job. Right? And they come in with so much energy. I love it, right? But beyond that, in the actual job, we have some very high-performing people, right? I enjoy going to work every day to work with these people because they deliver, they're motivated, right? It gives me energy as well. I enjoy that portion a lot. I enjoy solving a client's problem, and the client appreciates it, and they're like, oh my God, thank you so much for doing that, right? That also gives me energy. And of course, other part of my job I love is to travel. I get to go to some pretty cool places.
What are some of the primary challenges you encounter in your position?
The same things I said. We are a people business. Everything we do, our people have to do it. Just like I said, we have some very high-performing people. Sometimes we don't, right? Which is natural. When we have those, it becomes a challenge, right? And we try to coach them, help them be better. But sometimes it makes the projects harder. That's the main challenge we have, because as long as we can deliver, otherwise we have the technology, the processes, and the know-how of how to solve clients' problems. We just need the people to work and do what we ask them to do so we can get the work across the finish line, right? Other challenges are minor, nothing we can overcome. From a normal economic standpoint, when economies have downturns or things, we are impacted, like most companies are. Clients may put off some projects we planned for, scale back a little bit on large investments and things like that. So the economy does impact us. Regulations impact us a lot, change of regulations. Some projects are driven by regulations. When those change, it might. When governments change, they have different initiatives. Those also impact us. But we work through those. So usually we are prepared for those things.
How do you effectively manage deadlines, client expectations, and maintain a healthy work-life balance?
So we work completely on budgets, on three things: budgets, deadlines, and quality. Do quality work by the deadline on time with hours you have. I don't care where you work for the most part, right? Get it done, right? And you have some free will there, right? And it's not always rosy. Sometimes you have to work the weekend or late night. Otherwise, but not consistently, right? Sometimes things come up where you roll up your sleeves and you have to get stuff done. But it really comes to the person, right? You have, for me personally, I use the tools I have. Everything is on my phone and my laptop. They sync together with my tasks and reminders, my calendar. I live and die by my calendar, right? Everything is on there. Every meal, every flight, every dinner I have to go for, every client meeting, everything is on there. And I have reminders set up early as well. I use Outlook tasks as well to remind me of certain things. If it's very important, I'll have special reminders that pop up to take care of certain things. I had to prioritize. There's a lot to do, but I focus on what is most important. If something can wait till later, I'm not going to burn the midnight oil now or make my team burn the midnight oil just to get it done for the sake of getting it done, because I care about my team's well-being as well. Other thing I do is, you all have phones, right? Yeah. All of you girls have phones. You know the buttons that come up, the red buttons when you have a text message or an email in there, right? I don't know how many you have of unread text or unread messages. I have 0 every time, right? I check every single thing. If it's there in my inbox, I have still read it, and if I keep it, it's a to-do item. If I don't have to do anything about it, either I delete it or I file it in a folder in Outlook. So I know what I have to do. If I ever have free time, I go to my Outlook. My inbox is my to-do list, right? I know what I have to do. If it's in there, is something I have to do as well, right? It works for me. I manage that, right? But well-being is very important. So I told you I travel a lot, right? I travel every week almost. When I go out, easiest thing to do is to work out, right? Every hotel is a gym. All you gotta do is go down the stairs, right? I never travel without my workout clothes. And wherever I go, running is easiest thing. Take a pair of shoes, you go to the hotel, you go for a run, you come back in the morning. Most weeks when I travel, I always get a run in. One, because it gets boring running the same trail at home. So every different city has something different to offer. So I'll go for a nice morning run by the beach or by the lake or wherever it is. And I'll soak it in. And people ask me how I find time to do all the stuff I do. It is because I do those things that I can stay focused and get my work done too. Right?
In a high-pressure environment, how important do you believe maintaining physical fitness and personal well-being is, and how do you prioritize it?
Yeah, like I was saying, very important. Right? That's why I focused on it. I strongly believe that physical well-being directly correlates to mental health. Right? When you're in the right state of mind, your blood is flowing, you start your day with sunshine, with the sunrise, by the water or the trail, by the trees, by nature, it gives you energy. Right? And you feel good. And then you want to eat healthy as well once you've worked out. Right? It's highly, highly important. It also makes you feel good when you feel energetic, you walk out, you feel, okay, I started my day well. You did something good for yourself, right? That's something you do for yourself, right? I think it gives you energy and inspires you, right? And I think it's also contagious. When you see somebody else doing healthy stuff, running, walking, others want to do it as well. They don't want to be the one who is not doing something everybody else is doing as well, right? So I try to set that standard for my teams as well, encouraging them to be healthy, right?
I'll pass it back to Indina.
What technical competencies are most critical for success in risk and assurance services?
Really, it's critical thinking. That's the most important thing, right? Beyond that, it's communication, written and verbal communication. Because we're in the consulting field, we're talking to people all the time. Communication skills, written and verbal, are very important, and critical thinking. Beyond that, it's really all mental, right? The willingness to go the extra mile, put in the time to learn and make an effort, to take pride in the work that you deliver. If you care what you do, it's really a mindset thing, right? Using technology, we have all that, we can train you, and it's all there, right? So from technical competencies, that is there. Those are foundational table stakes. It's really the person.
At your level of experience, which soft skills, such as leadership, communication, or analytical thinking, are most essential?
All of those. Like I just said, right? Communication is key, though, right? Communication is key. Networking is very important. We always say it's who you know more than what you know, right, to be successful. I mentioned to you earlier about the allies and folks who helped me get to the next level and stuff, right? It also was who you know. The network was very important. If I had just stuck in a cube or a desk and kept working and didn't really talk to those leaders and make an impression on them, they probably wouldn't have known who I am. There I would just been one more person. We have 175,000 employees just in the US firm, right?
Yeah.
I'll be just one more number, right? But that making an impression with leaders is the way you get ahead, right? Showing them what you're capable of. You have to do some level of personal marketing, personal branding, so that they know what you've done. Right? But yes, that's really all those things. Critical thinking, I mentioned that as well, right? We want people who can be analytical, critical to solve the client's problems. Everything else is foundational. Understanding technology and processes, we can teach you that.
How valuable are internships and professional certifications for individuals pursuing in your career path?
Very. So we and most professional services firms like us, we hire interns with the goal of them. The internship is a job interview. At the end of your 8 or 10-week internship, if you did well, you will get a full-time job offer. I always say the hardest part is getting the interview, because we get hundreds of resumes. You only interview very few. If I get 100, I'll probably interview 25 of them. Of that 20, so the interview is the second hardest part. Getting past it from the 25, I'll probably hire like 5 for the internship, right? If you get the internship compared to everything else is the easier part. You got to just work hard, do what you're told, be pleasant, demonstrate your capabilities, your communication skills, be fun to work with, and if you do good work and you show all the characteristics you want to see, you will get a full-time offer, right? We very rarely hire full-time campus hires who did not intern. Because we're taking a chance on somebody, because we invest a lot when you come in. From a training standpoint, we invest a lot in everybody. And we want our internship folks, we know what they've done. When they come in, they are ready to hit the ground, right? So occasionally we'll hire one or two to meet the gap of the interns who we couldn't give offers to, or because we grew in some area we need more people, we would hire. But a large number of the folks who come in full-time for the internship. So yes, internship is absolutely important. And I'll tell for the kids who are looking at it, don't fall behind. I've said this so many times. Go to your career services office. Figure out who is coming in, when to recruit. Most companies hire for the internship in the summer before your senior year. And that interviews happen in your first semester of your junior year. So in September and October, you are applying and interviewing for an internship in June. I get so many emails from parents asking the kids an internship in February or March. I'm like, I'm sorry, I wish I could help you, but we've already filled all our spots. If you told me a year ago, I could have got you, I can't get you a job, but I can get you in the pipeline to interview, right? And if you do well, we can hire you, right? Once you miss that window, it's very hard, right? So don't slack off. That junior year, you should start when you start your school in the fall semester of junior year, you should be there figuring out which career fair, which company is coming, how do I apply, how do I get in the pipeline for interview.
Which academic majors, courses, or areas of study would you recommend for students interested in this field?
Yeah. I'll come back to that. You also asked about certifications earlier.
Yes.
Yes. Very important, right? Now, depending which field you're going to go into, right? Most of these firms do a lot. There's tax and audit, which are accounting degrees. If you do the accounting degree, you have to get your CPA. CPA is a must, required for those areas. You can get it after you start working too, but don't give up on that. CPA is very valuable. On the technical side, there are so many. Right now, a lot on cloud certifications and AI certifications out there. If you go into the assurance side, there are different ones called Certified Internal Auditor, Certified Information Systems Auditor. Those are the more technical things. There are several, right? Depending which field you're going to go into, but they do help. They help because it's so competitive, right? So competitive. You differentiate yourself from the pack if you got something, right? Gives you more credibility, right? So yes, certifications do help. Going to the courses, like I said earlier, personally, here's my advice, right? I see folks doing a general business degree. I'm like, okay, it's good, right? But you have to have a skill to offer. That's my opinion, right? Like I said earlier, after my finance degree, I didn't feel I had something to offer, right? Make sure you have something that's valuable to a company. A general business degree is what? What are you going to do? You're not going to manage people. I'm also not a huge fan. Again, this is me. This is just my opinion, my personal opinion. Management degree. I'm like, what is a management degree? I'm not hiring managers, right? I'm hiring staff to do work, right? I need staff who can deliver and do technical work, right? So I want a skill, like in technology or in accounting or in finance, who can do the formulas, who can do the work, right? Learn some skill that's not very generic, that is marketable, right? So that's one. Because I tell people, everything you learn in business school in 4 years, you could probably learn in a 1-year MBA, right? Because I have a lot of respect for engineers and doctors, a lot more technical, right? You can't do the same thing, right? Business school is very much about thinking, ability to think. And even with a science degree, you learn the same thinking. You can get the business side later on, right? You learn, college teaches you how to think critically. An engineering degree is the same thing, right? Any of those degrees teaches you to think properly. The business concepts you can learn later on if you need to, right? So I would say take some technical courses so you have some value you can add, right? And beyond that, if you're not sure exactly what you're going to do, get a wide range and see what you like, but try to hone in, but make sure all the courses you do have a story to tell in your resume or in an interview why you did that. Right?
I'll hand over these last few questions to Thara.
How has the consulting industry evolved since you began your career?
A lot, right? A lot of the tools and technologies I use, we didn't used to have earlier. I'll give you a simple example. When I first started 24 years ago, when I used to travel, we used to have to get receipts, put it in an envelope, and mail it into a shared service center that somebody opened it and somebody typed things in, right? Now it's all electronic, right? I don't even use it. I use my card, it all goes through. If I need something, I take a photograph, it goes right in, right? But technology is my point, right? The work that we do, the amount of tools that we use internally to deliver our work, to save our files, everything is online. I can access my entire computer on my phone through iCloud, right? Through OneDrive, right? The amount of technology we use, it's amazing. It fascinates me how we can just all get on one file and edit it real time, 5 people on the same file. Back in the day, I'll do it. Okay, I'm going to send it to you next. Who's next? Okay, you get it next. You make the changes. Other person is waiting for you to send it to him to make some changes, right? But now we all jump on the file at the same time and work in the same time on the same PowerPoint. Right? Incredible, right? And then I test systems a lot. Right? I used to have to go into the system, type queries, pull out data, and put it into a spreadsheet, analyze it. Now I have a script I put in there, it extracts all the data, creates a work paper, analyzes the whole thing. I got to go look, make sure everything looks good, right? Technology has changed what we do so much. We still put the same amount of work in, but we're adding more value now. Because the legwork is taken out, we're spending more time analyzing and adding value, right? And in the last 2 years, the amount of AI we're using is incredible, right? Simplifies our life so much. We are still growing, we're still delivering, but takes the monotony out of the work that we do, and we're able to add a lot more value.
Going based off that, what emerging technologies are currently having the greatest impact on the consulting?
Oh, it's AI. Everybody's talking about it right now, right? It is AI, right? At the pace it's going, it's incredible. We had a project we won last week. We did the presentation made the pitch, and the client called that evening and said, we want to see a demo of the tool we talked about, of the AI. And I said, sure. And the next day we got on another call with them and shared our screen and showed the demo. And the next day he called and said, that was amazing, it's yours, right? The amount of technology we're using, because they see the benefit as well. Because when we bring the technology in, it takes less of their time to work with us, to give us information, because we're able to use the technology to work more efficiently with them, right? AI is changing things so rapidly.
Could you go more into that and how it influences your job and how it functions?
Well, I'll give you an example, right? I had a meeting with a client CFO the other day, Fortune 500 company, and I was preparing for the meeting. We have our own internal tools. We don't use ChatGPT and external tools because privacy and confidentiality purposes. I just went and said, I'm meeting with the CFO of this company. Give me some topics to talk about. Boom, within seconds, instead of me doing research, I would have earlier spent so much time Googling, looking at news articles, see what they've been doing, what are the hot topics. I got 5 topics, and what? Here's what they did, and here's why. Here are recommended questions on the topic. Next topic, and here's what they've done so far, and here are the questions to ask. I'm prepared, and I read in a very succinct way, and able to have a good, deep discussion, right? That's in client meetings. On a day-to-day basis, creating documents like PowerPoints and all that, we put into our tool, it creates those things for us now, right? Tell them exactly what you want, and it'll give you a first starting option. We'll of course edit, modify it, go through multiple iterations, but takes out some of the first few steps that we do. I see that some of our junior new hires out of campus use it a lot more than I do, because they grew up with that. Right? It's more natural for them to go to that automatically. I am trying to rewire myself to use it because I didn't grow up with it. It's not natural for me. But for them, it's a lot more. And I asked them, oh, yeah, I say, oh, that's fantastic. You use that. They will do client discussions, right? Sometimes it's on virtual on Teams, and they'll record it. You can put it into the tool. It'll make a whole transcript and pull out different pieces that they can go on and extract after that.
If you could offer one piece of evidence to your advice to your younger self at the beginning of your career, what would it be?
People ask that a lot, right? I don't know, because I'm happy where I am. My journey was pretty good, right? I didn't have any hiccups. It worked out pretty well. But I didn't know I was going to be doing this. If I had known, nobody knows what you're going to do. College prepares you for the next level. If I had known I'm going to be in this field, maybe I would have gotten a few more accounting credits, got a CPA, got different things as well to add on to my current stuff as an additional skill set. But you don't know that. I mean, younger self-wise, I think I did what I had to do, right? I kept myself rounded on different topics. I did well in school, right? I stayed healthy. Here's my advice, don't do drugs, right? That's part of being healthy, right? Get your sleep and stay mentally sharp for everything. I worked hard, right? I don't think there's anything personally I would do differently.
And last question, what motivates you to continue growing and succeeding in such a competitive and fast-paced environment?
I got bills to pay. No, but here's the thing, right? I love my job, but my job enables me to have a good life. I don't live to work. I work to live, right? If I couldn't have a good life that is balanced and do all the things I enjoy, it won't be worth it, right? I'm motivated because I'm happy at work. I'm not unhappy, right? I enjoy the people I work with, the clients, everything is fantastic. I enjoy it. But, and I do it because internally I'm driven, right? I don't half-ass things, right? And if I do it, I do it. Running marathon, I'll run the marathon. I'll do whatever I need to do, so I'm driven, right? So that's a good thing, right? I think, like I said earlier as well, it really is internal, the person. Being driven helps, and that helps in the consulting field as well, right? So I am naturally driven. So I keep going, I keep working hard, but I'm happy because it enables me to live the life I live, right?
And that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching, and thank you, Mr. Rumi, for the opportunity to conduct this interview.
My pleasure. You all did very well. Good job.
Thank you.